everybody. Welcome back to Country Girl with Kathy Jarvis. And it is the last week of April. Can you believe that? And what we're going to do today is take you around and show you what's going on in the flower garden and in the vegetable garden. Now, I have really been working a lot. Didn't do much the week of Easter because I had my boys home and was enjoying them. But I did preserve a lot of the food during that week, but I didn't get much work outside done. So now it's back to getting the garden planted. But today I just didn't feel like it, so we're going to walk around and see what's going on in the garden. And the first thing I've noticed is that my Rose of Sharons are starting to put out their leaves, which is nice. I was a little bit worried about them because I hadn't seen them yet. My astelbes are coming up. The hostas coming up. The corybells are looking nice. The sedan is doing wonderful. The daffodils are almost gone, but the narcissus are coming into favor. My pineys are really doing good. You'll notice they got the buds on them, and they got the ants on them already. Now, don't worry if you see ants on your pineys. It's a beneficial thing. The pineys actually need the ants. This lilac bush did really well this year. I trimmed it. Last 2 years I've been trimming back the dead part and letting the new part come up. And there was only one section I wasn't for sure last year if it was dead or not. And that's this part here. So I'm going to come in and clip off all this dead part. And this bush will be pretty much trimmed back. You do this, about every 3 years you have to start trimming them back to keep them down low if you want them to be a lower bush. If you don't want them to be low and you want them to go up high, then you just leave them be. All right, the daylilies have really filled out this area. The rose bush, climbing rose, is doing well. So let's walk out to see the garden. I'm not so sure about the peach tree this year. We've had some really wonky weather, and when it was starting to put out the blooms, we got some really cold weather, and I didn't get many blooms. So I'm hoping that we get some peaches off of it this year. Who knows? Okay, the grapes have leafed out nicely. So I need to get in here and spray them to prevent them from getting any diseases. This is a flower garden where I put glads in. And all those little glads that you see coming up overwintered in there. They were the little babies that didn't have a big enough bulb to actually pull out. The round strawberry bed I haven't done anything with. As you can see, they're starting to bloom. So I'll probably just put a little fertilizer on this one and leave it be. My little plum tree, it's already bloomed and done. So now I'm just waiting until I see if any plums form. And then I'll come back out here and I will trim off all this dead area that didn't come back this year. We'll trim up this tree after I get the garden planted. We did change out the strawberry bed. We have the new little strawberries, and It looks like something has gotten into them. Not for sure know what. It's come from the bottom up, and it's taken some of them out. Because I had 1, 2, 3, it looks like 6 of them are gone. So, not for sure what has taken those out. As you see, nothing's come from the outside. It's come from the inside, from the bottom up. So it's probably a mow. This strawberry bed is completely blooming. And this one is full of blooms. And the blueberry bushes, I've got 2 blueberry bushes in here. Both of those have blooms on them. The blackberry patch, all leafed out. This is the new little blackberry bush I planted. You can just see the new leaves coming. This is the one that I did from a transplant, a cutting. I'm not for sure if it's going to take root completely. It's got a root on it, but whether it's going to grow, that's another thing. This is another one that I bought. I don't see any new growth on it yet. We just planted those this month. What else is in the garden that I've got done? Okay, I've got the turnips. You can see them coming up, and the beets. I got those planted in here. I got some kale in the corner that overwintered. My asparagus is weird. This is like the 6th year for it. I should be able to eat it, and I only see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stalks coming up. And so I'm not gonna be eating it this year either. I did add compost to it 2 years ago, hoping that would make it better. My peas, a few in between, the birds got to them. I did not have this covered. You'll notice that I covered the, you can't really see it, but there's a netting over these to keep the birds from pulling the seeds out before I'm ready, for they're big enough to go on their own. Haven't planted this one yet. This is going to be cabbage, and this one's going to be cucumbers, parsnips, and green beans, which I need to get in here and plant. I have a kale plant here that I overwintered, and I'm leaving it go to seed so I can collect the seeds from it, and then once that happens, I'll pull it. Hopefully it'll happen soon, because this bed will get the zucchinis put in it. Need to trim up the rosemary. It overwintered. As you can see, it's coming back. This bed will be cauliflower and broccoli, which I need to plant soon. Green beans, po beans are going to go in here. This is my overwintered parsnip snips. And I can't even pull these suckers up. That's how deep they are. So I'm going to have to get in here and with a fork and pull them, get them harvested. And here is another bed of blooming strawberries. Now what I have got done also, and so we've got the bucket garden planted. I got carrots coming up here, and carrots coming up here, and then in this bucket and this bucket, in the grow bucket, are early Viking potatoes. This one, and this one are main crop potatoes. They're the sodas. And these up here are late potatoes. So I got those potatoes done. We still haven't done anything to the greenhouse. You can see where it's tore across the top during the last windstorm. I've looked for replacement covers, cannot find any. Had a problem here. My Brussels sprouts, which were planted last fall, should have done well, but they didn't. They went to bloom. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these, or at least one of them, in here so I can get the seed pods off of it and harvest some seeds. So I don't have to buy seeds anymore for this. We have a bunch of little plants there growing. I got my oregano in here, and that's all I've done in here so far. I haven't gotten anything else done. And this is a new section this year. We just tilled this up last Sunday and planted a bunch of potatoes. I've got the Vikings in the front. Then I got the main crops going down this rest of this row in the center. And then here is the late. And those last two rows are leftover potatoes from last year that had sprouted that I just put in the ground. So we'll see how they do. The bee garden, I haven't really done anything to it yet. But you'll notice that the flowers, that the perennials, which are on the back side, have come up. We've got the daisies, the irises, the hollyhocks, the phlox, and more daisies and more irises. And you see the little English daisies are already blooming. There we go. They're already blooming. And I got some goldenrod in here that I'm leaving for the time being. Haven't done anything with the melon garden yet. I'll go into the greenhouse and we'll see what's going on in there. The trees, the cherry trees, blooming right now. All three cherry trees are blooming. The mysterious tree that I told you earlier that if it did not bloom this year, I was going to chop it down. Well, evidently it heard what I said. Because I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's blooming and it is an apple tree. So hopefully we'll get at least 1 or 2 apples off of it. Like I said, this thing's about 10 years old and it's never done anything. But this past year, I did prune it. I took a whole section, or had my husband take a whole section that was here off. We were going to take these off, but I decided it was too much to take off the tree in 1 year. So I left these. I will remove those next year probably. Or maybe later on, once this establishes itself good. But I wanted that to heal up first. The new plants, the new trees I got, they're budded out nicely. This one does not have any blooms on it. But the other one has one bloom. So we have one little bloom here, which is fine because this tree is young. It shouldn't really have a broken branch. I'll have to come out here and, yep, it broke off. So that's nice. The other trees, the other 2 apple trees, are blooming wonderfully. In fact, I'm probably going to have to thin them once they set, once once I actually set the fruit. But this is my little Charlie Brown apple tree, and it's just full of blooms. And again with this one, loaded with blooms. So we will definitely probably have to thin this out and spray it as soon as the leaves are ready. And this is going to be the melon patch, and this is going to be where I'm going to be planting the tomatoes, I think. So I need to cover that section up there at the end. And then I'm hoping to get this part on the end here tilled up so that I can plant some corn. It's either that or plant it in between the melons. I haven't decided yet, but I'm more leaning towards digging that up and putting the corn in. So, back to the greenhouse. We started that and never got in here, did we? And we have a bird in here again. I have no idea how this bird is getting in. But we'll open the door and hopefully it'll go out. All right. I have some turnips. I have some cauliflower. I have more cauliflower there. I have some beets, radishes that don't look like they're doing that great. They probably need water. Swiss chard. This is celery from last year, still growing. These are my peas that I started back, oh gosh, it must have been February or so. So we'll see how they do. A bunch of broccoli that has gone to seed. Again, I'm waiting for it to form these little pods, which I don't see any yet. Don't see any that are fat. These are the pods, but none of them have fattened up yet with seeds. So I'm going to save some broccoli seeds. I'll pull most of these. I'll just keep one or two of them again so I can save some seeds. Most of this lettuce will have to be pulled because it's all gone to seed. This was my winter salad, and we haven't used it much to the point. We got more kale in here that's gone to seed, which I'll be pulling up. There's no need to have too many kales that are going to seed. All I need is one or two. Now this one here is the new kale. This is over here is the old. So, and then I've got one there is new. Spinach, this is the newest batch that we're using now. So, once I tear this out here, I'll be planting more lettuce down there. But I'll probably switch to the summer's heat lettuce. And then down the center, I'm going to put, I may put some tomatoes down there. We're going to take all these old peppers that didn't make it. We can take those out. And I'm going to put a whole row of the determinate type tomatoes in this area. And then on this side, we're going to take everything out, except, like I said, the one broccoli down, one broccoli down there for seeds. And I'm going to plant my peppers over here this year. So that is a quick tour. Hopefully that bird went out. This is a quick tour of the garden area in late April. As you said, I still got quite a bit to do. Got to put in all the warm weather crops, but I'm not doing that until after May 15th. The ones in the greenhouse will go in during probably the 1st of May, a week before, but the ones out here will be after the 15th. So that's what I've got going on out here. Okay, in the yard itself, the redbud trees have been blooming up a storm, and they're just about ready to lose all their pretty little red buds and just have the green leaves. The wild plum over there has already done that, so it's no longer blooming. Up at the house, you can see the dogwood trees in full bloom. I love dogwood trees. They're so pretty. I still have a few daffodils blooming. The irises are starting to form their buds. The crepe myrtle has budded out with their leaves. I still have not gotten the fish pond done, but let me see if I can find my friends. Hey, froggies. You can see my goldfish over there in the corner. But I got 5 frogs that are living in here. Hey, froggy frog. Now, earlier I came out here and called them and they came up. I do not see them right now. They must be camera shy. You think they're camera shy? I bet you that's it. They're just camera shy. Hey, frogs, I don't have a camera. Come up here. Come here, little guys. Hey, froggy. Well, I think everything's up. There's one of them. Don't know if you can see him. He's in the basket with his little eyes looking up at you. There's one of them. Sometimes I like to hide. But I was just out here. There all 5 of them were here. But yeah, it's definitely needs to be cleaned out. They'll all go away and they'll all pop their heads up. That's just the way those are. Just the way they are. Yeah. The knockout rose that we trimmed is filling out really well. This crepe myrtle also has put out leaves. And here's the other knockout rose that we trimmed, which is starting to put out buds. So we'll have roses before much longer. That's good. Now, remember when we trimmed those roses, we took some cuttings? Here's the cuttings. Now you can tell some of them didn't do any good at all. But every once in a while, you get one that, like that one, that just may have, see, that one didn't, this one didn't, but this one's nice and green, but this one, oh yeah, that one's got a root. And then I got the Shasta daisies that I grew last year and overwintered in the pot. Back here, we have the stubbies growing. And then I have my lilac tree, my big shade tree of a lilac that shades my patio. And it is in faux bloom. And it is so pretty and smells so good. I wish you could smell this thing. Ah, it's so sweet. It smells wonderful. Now, I took a bunch of asters out hoping to thin this area. And the only thing I managed to do was thin this little area here. I still have a bunch of asters all the way down. And I really didn't want a bunch of asters, but I gotta find a place to transplant them. I just haven't found it yet. The phlox has taken over from my mint. I can't find hardly any spearmint. There's just a few of the spearmint left. The phlox has taken over most of it. I've been working on clearing out the path, but like I said, with everything that's been going on, you can tell I've got a lot more work to do. That's all supposed to be gravel. I need to get in there and finish pulling the weeds on that. Nothing's really gone on with the gardens back there. The daylilies are coming up nicely. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. That's the way I had to walk out into the backyard. Okay, let's go check the gardens back here. If I don't fall over a cat. Gosh. I haven't really done anything to this garden yet. It's supposed to have asparagus. I do not see any asparagus coming up yet. Over here. Well, we got anything? See a little bit of thyme coming back up. See some sage over there coming back up. The oregano come back up wonderfully. Look at that. Oregano everywhere. Also some Vica, which I don't want. The chives are up. The lemon balm came back up. Gotta chase cats out here. And just violets over there. Okay, cats, all out. Come on, out. Out. Scoot. Move it, all of you. Come on. That includes you. Butterscotch. All right. Need to weed this little garden by the chicken park. As I can tell, a lot of the plants have come back. I see a hosta back there. These, I don't remember the name of them. I got 2 of those. And I got some Shasta daisies in the back. And a hosta there. And a lilac bush there that I need to really move. That was planted there a long time ago. I thought it was dead. Then when I cleared all this out and put the new good soil on top of it, it rejuvenated that little sucker. So I need to get the goosegrass out and the dead nettle out. Okay. Through here we had daffodils. They're mostly gone. I'm doing the duck walk with the cat between my legs again. Narcissus are blooming. The bridal breath is almost gone. Now this is another one that I rejuvenated by cutting back a third 2 years ago. I cut it down to size. And you cut these down after they get through blooming. So when they're done blooming this year, I will come with my trusty little shears and I will knock it down to about 4 foot. Take the tops off of it, shape it back up, and then it'll grow again back. Now, the wildlife garden. It's got a bunch of daylilies coming in. It's got, I thought this bush was gone. I planted it a long time ago. And Last year I did some trimming, and I trimmed all around it and brought that back up. So I have a pink azalea back here, which is nice. Also back here, the Virginia bluebells are all, you can't see them very well, but they're peppering the whole everything. They're just gorgeous. Yep. Now not only do I have one cat, I have 3 cats I'm walking around. Okay, what else we got back here? Now, I have spent some money and bought some wildflowers that I put in down here. Put one there. I do not see it. I have not ever seen it come up. I had some bleeding hearts I put in here. I haven't seen them. And this was like 2 years ago. Well, this year, at least the trillion has come through. That's the only one that's come up. So hopefully, the bluebells, actually I got 2 or 3 of these starts from the woods. Brought them in here and just put them down, and they've just multiplied. They just take over. They're beautiful. I just wish they would last longer than just this little bit of springtime. But they've been going the whole month. So it's nice to come back here and see the bluebells, see the touch of pink. Those are the daylilies will be, the wild daylilies will be orange when they come up. And there's some astelbes in here, which will also be blooming. There's some fern that'll come up. So this actually is a garden that I do not do anything with, except I take out any young trees that I don't want in here. But the rest I just leave until fall, right before the first freeze, or right after the first freeze. When everything freezes down, I'll take a weed whip and I'll whip everything down for the winter, so everything will come up good for the summer. But I don't do anything else for this. This is the wildlife garden. This is for the animals, basically, the squirrels and the chipmunks and stuff, just to have an area to hide in and just to enjoy nature, just to enjoy the wildflowers of nature. Now over here, you see where I got those Virginia bluebells. They're all through here too. So, yep. And then on the hillside, where I had dumped those flowers out about a year ago, they're not blooming now, but I had a whole bunch of little white flowers blooming all up and down this area. But if you look back farther, you'll see more of the bluebells back through there. These cats, it's getting close to feeding time, and they're telling me they want food. So, hey, Peaches, stop that with the tree. Hey, that's the cover for my tree. This is the little persimmon tree. Now I want to show you the difference. This persimmon tree, I had this cover around it all year. And see how pretty and red the stem is? This one over here, I did what they said, and I just planted it in the ground, and I left it, and I didn't do anything to it all winter except water it. It's not nearly as bright red as the other one. Come on, Butterscotch, don't do that. Don't do that to my tree. All right. I got so many cats. Last count on the cats was I had 11 cats. So these have all actually been stray cats that have come here and have litters of cats, and that's how come they're multiplying. So that is going to come to an end in June. they're going to the vet and getting themselves operated on. So we'll cut down on this cat population. I think I've got enough cats to last for a while. So, and I've got Mitzi, the black and white one, has 4 babies somewhere. She had them on the side porch until a week ago. They were 2.5 weeks old, and she decides to move them. So I don't know where they are. Peaches, luckily, never got pregnant, at least not that I know of. Butterscotch here is the male. And I got 2 other cats, gray ones, that are out with kittens. She had kittens. I haven't seen them, so I don't know if she has them or not. And I got 2 in the garage that are male, that are waiting to be worked on first. So we're cutting down on the population of the cats. So I'm hoping that by getting them fixed, we'll eliminate all the male cats that are coming here and making themselves at home. I fed 2 extra male cats last night they're just strays, which I can't catch. These all started out as strays, and I've been working with them, trying to get them friendly enough so that I can pick them up and take them to the vet. And as you can tell, they're quite friendly now, as they won't leave me be. So we're going to get those worked on. Anyway, that's what's going on here. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the tour. There's even more plants upstairs. The balcony is full of plants right now being hardened off to go out into the garden as soon as the night temperature rises up above 50 at night, so I can leave them out there safely. And then I've got a bunch in the grow room that I will put out on the balcony as soon as the other plants get planted. So I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Remember, give it a thumbs up, like the video, hit that bell icon so you know when I'm on next, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps out. So, see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.